Hello and welcome to JPL Express here on TV3. It is yet another week where we get to enrich your love and appreciation of local football. Over the next 30 minutes, we will fully concentrate on Kumasi Asante Kotoko with a special piece highlighting the rather complex and curious case of managing one of Africa's biggest clubs. My name is Juliet Bawuah, and you are welcome to JPL Express. Kumasi Asante Kotoko, a club outside the heart of the many, and one of football's biggest fame. Asante Kotoko, a successful club. Asante Kotoko, Asante Kotoko, Asante Kotoko, The Kotoko is a tough one. It requires a skill set to be and speaks different languages. That should always start with them as achieving results from field service copy myself through to the iconic habit mindset to present day Dr. Blanche. There has been enough leadership steps to see the curiosity of just how complex it is to manage Kumasi Asante Kotoko.
It's quite interesting. I think the first time I had the privilege of being closely associated with Kotoko, that would be around 1976. And those were the days of FD. Yeah? He struggled a bit. Those were the days of the fearsome fivesome. And Kotoko were always humiliated by glorious hearts of oak. He played his part, but after him came Sims Kofi Mensah, who really changed the face of Asante Kotoko and brought in quite a number of extraordinary players. Those were the periods he brought the likes of Joseph Carr, Haruna Yusuf, the likes of Popokunti, Francis Kumi, Albert Asase, Karim Zito, Charles Opong. And it was a kind of renaissance because it was the first time Kotoko started beating Hearts of Oak. And I remember that fateful Wednesday at the Accra Sports Stadium when Kotoko annihilated the Hearts of Oak by 3 goals and all. Indeed, Opokunti scored a 4th goal, which was disallowed, and it was quite strange because it was a corner kick, so it beats the imagination of many people how that goal was disallowed. And so they dominated. Sims Mensah was absolutely incredible. And 1980, 81, 82, 83, 84, Kotoko dominated the local scene as well as Africa. After him came Bawuah. And he inherited a very solid foundation by Sims Kofi Mensah. And I remember very well, during the days of Eben Mensah, when there was a rally at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle, and Bawuah was very, very modest and honest enough to tell the crowd how he did not inherit any debt at all from Sims Mensah and had a very smooth sail. And he was incredible. And he had a solid management team, Bawuah, because they were the likes of Asad Mala, Mr. Jiman Prempe, who was then the manager of then SSB, now SG, and the likes of, so many incredible personalities. So they had a solid team. And they won the Africa Cup in 1984. But after him, Kotoko started having quite some problems. Pao Foronia could take over. He didn't do too badly. And then I thought Kotoko started having a lot of management issues until Eben Mensah bounced on the scene and did a wonderful job.
Robert Mensa, Papa Yara, Kofi Tufua, Adakwa, Ibrahim Sunday, Reverend Oseiko Vincent, Malik Jabe, Osei Drava, Nasima Muda, Nasiane Dimam, Yadamasi, 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 Yadamaso, Yadamasi, Yadamasi, Robert Messi, Nasiane Dimam, Ibrahim Sunday, Yadamasensa, Malik Jabe, Ose Drabe, Ose Kofi, Yadamasensa, Nasinkamo, Yadamasi, Yadamasampa, Nasinkamo, Yadamaso, Yadamasiane Dimandamasita, Senso, Ibrahim Sunday, Yadamasensa. Ose Drabe, Damasampa, Nasinkum, Yadamaso, Yadamasi, Yadamasita. Asante Kotoko, Yebesha Mamo, Yadamasi, Yebesha Mamo, Asante Kotoko, Asante Kotoko, Yebesha Mamo, Asante Kotoko, Yebesha Mamo. Asante Kotoko, Yebeshamu ako. Asante Kotoko, Asante Kotoko, Yebeshako.
God out of focus, can he drive from this distance? This is the equalizer. Yakub Mohammed has made it 1-1.
In terms of modern style of management and in terms of really rallying everybody around and in terms of giving Kotoko that international pedigree, Herbert Mensah comes in very, very handy. I said this for a number of reasons. At the time he took over the team was almost on his knees. And the manner in which he managed to rally the team around and give it that international angle. Because for the first time, for instance, Kotoko participated in the Vodacom Championship in South Africa on 2 different occasions. And that was the time Kotoko were not even champions in Ghana. And how he managed to pull strings to get Kotoko involved in that really amazed me. And Kotoko's foray into Africa during those times and the manner in which the fans started coming to the stadium, I don't know, but I thought it was absolutely brilliant. Unfortunately, he didn't win major trophies, so it will be a big drawback. But to be honest, in terms of real management style and injecting professionalism and injecting the right structures into Kotoko, Herbert Mensah comes in handy. Kotoko over the years have had their own problems at times with management, but there's a certain irony, it's a paradox if you like. Anytime they've had an executive chairman or a CEO and a board of directors has been imposed on that structure, Kotoko's always had problems. Because all the success stories of Kotoko, for instance, had to do with areas where they had either a CEO who was independent or an executive chairman. It's such a paradox. The only time I believe Kotoko had some relative success where they had a CEO and a board which worked perfectly was during the days of former president of the land, my own father, J. Kufo, who became the board chairman and also had a CEO at that time from Gimpa. It worked perfectly, but it's amazing how anytime Kotoko has had a combination of a board and a CEO, they've had problems. And I think it's the biggest problem that confronts Asante Kotoko. It's all the management structure. And my candid view, and I say this in all honesty, that unless there's a paradigm shift of the management structure of Asante Kotoko, Kotoko would continue to struggle in terms of achieving the desired results and blazing the trail of the golden era. Because times have changed and it's all about finances. And I do not think that the current structures we have in Kotoko would ever get Kotoko back to the winning ways. The poor structures and governance is the bane of the club, because without the right structures, are you able to attract the right forms of sponsorship? When Kotoko were dominant in Ghana, it's because Kotoko financially was the biggest. And that is why the only team that came closest was Accra Heartwood. You know, so Kotoko attracted the best materials from this country. And every player who was good enough was very eager to play for Asante Kotoko. And there's a reason at the time you had about 12, 13 players of Kotoko playing in the national team. I mean, players who had even come from Akotes in those days, who were playing for the national team, like Ohinaba Siao, like Justice Apia, like Charles Osei, were all members of the national team, Thomas Kankam, and were playing second fiddle in Kotoko. That's how strong Kotoko was. All have changed, and as we speak, Kotoko are not even able to attract the best materials on the local scene. How are you able to compete in Africa? And season after season, you're losing all your players to the rest of Africa because your finances are so weak. Until the finances get very, very strong. And when I talk about strong finances, I'm not talking about shallow pockets. I'm talking about very, very deep pockets. I'm talking about several millions of dollars. That is the only time Kotoko can compete favorably in Africa. And that is where Kotoko must be striving to, not what we're seeing right now.
Asante Kotoko
It's all about, there's no that oneness again. There's been a division whereby when a certain Kotoko management is in power, there's a certain circle that will be fighting against the management. And at the end of the day, no one is going to use his left hand to point his father's house. So no matter the grievances, no matter the misunderstanding, we should know that Kotoko is paramount. Kotoko should be our first priority that we need to worship, we need to cherish. But if we don't do it that way, and then every circle is going to support a certain management or bring an agenda of supporting a certain management, it will kill the team and Kotoko will lose. That is what we have to know. Anybody that works with Kotoko since my time, always leave Kotoko with pain within the heart. And it's causing the team. Because when we look at Ghana in general now, if we all quite remember, there was a time where the former Black Star team that took the Nations Cup for us, they were complaining there are so many things they promised them they couldn't fulfill. And we don't need to let this thing be a virus. Kotoko should learn how to let people go, leave Kotoko without pain. And then washing the sackcloth of the team outside, it doesn't help. It's not wealthy. So it's hard time we need to let all these things bypass and let Kotoko be paramount. We don't sell Kotoko and run at a loss. So if you are blaming the management now or the chairman who is Dr. Che now that he is not helping Kotoko to succeed, I don't agree with you. Because if you come to an institution, everybody is being assigned to a position. What work are you doing as you being given the position? So if you are blaming Dr. Kwame Che, I'll never agree with you, but there are certain people that they need to audit. Kotoko used to be a club of trophies, but it's now that I think things are not working that well to bring those trophies back, because at the end of the day, even selecting of a coach, it seems they don't even watch it before even bringing a coach to Kotoko. Kotoko is like Manchester, Real Madrid, but in our local dialect we said Abuebia Kowo. Kotoko deserve better.
Ana pressure and free supporters, you know. They mum a free executive board chairman and now say see where the adwuma ashenisa. Oba in first year and 2 years now okono. Promises akese or the be supporters, you know. Supporters no hwe ne be 1 year. Na the promise or the club no. Na say untimi en deliver. Eno na kofa pressure ne ba. Promises or the young supporters no be 1 year and I say above be 2 seasons na enema nko ya. Supporters ne share kasa uji league na enya ade a eso mo ni tia na free penfo edi team ni show mo nsa omo kasa begin omo di kan man to supporters ni team no ena dey pressure e dey brew se enkambo man timi amma be pie no a wo ya betimi ayeyi eyiyi mu no doso eni konkonsa Kotoko yo structures no ho ohini timi nyi bi mfrim ena wa edi team na sha wonsa no so timi nyi so ohini nyi mfrim di a ebede na wa edi team na sha wonsa no be ye frame se nipa nya ba pe omo betimi aboa no ma ye adwuma no na ye do mo to nchen ye nhwe se since Owura Herbert Mensah me fa free ho na me gye di se ye supporters ni bebre Owura Herbert Mensah e free ho no ye di team ni ma na obaye no em se ono so anema bi ana ekoso no ono bi a e se o contact Owura Herbert Mensah no yi na ni e bi Owura Sylvester Osara Osu na se na bantima hene ono so o ye nema duru ba bi no o duru ba bi no ye gi team ni free nsem de o ko no osuso esen ko ba duru ye no on so hwe se o ha na me papa yi adwuma duru ye meto aso e de free o wan to aso e bia friend say Owura Dr. Kwame Che ono so oiba no pokunti aye adwuma ni bia duru ba bi o hwe Kotoko structures na tem bia no bia back club no so okwa ana so obema o make sure say o de ne hu nipa so qualify so on qualify no o de naba it so okwa won say some documents ni ne ma bebre aiden free ba Kotoko ne circle chairman be kasa ene obi e management member ene see etiro isi Kotoko team no see wo for ada ne mienu e Owura Doja ma ko ne okuka one a car sama enti what I say one a car sama enti one a man appointment one a be catch and so Kotoko see you
Changing management cost me a lot in Kumasi Asante Kotoko as a coach, you know, because there was no trust. Maybe they were thinking I'm a close friend with that management because they brought me to the club, which was wrong decision they were taking, because we are working as a professional, and then this is my mother club. I want to achieve something. Akosiapia was coach in Sudan. And then he even decided to come and pick me to join him in Sudan. But we both sat down and then discussed that, oh, Michael, maybe it's hopefully you become the new head coach in the club, because your previous performance was great. So definitely we hope that you get the head coach contract, which will help you for your CV. So me and Akosi Appiah decided that okay, I will stay in Kotoko, and then Akosi Appiah looked for someone for him to go assist him in the Sudan. When I stay, the problem starts, and then the new management came. The new management brought a new coach, which is Coach Luga, the Serbian coach, I think. And then they brought him, and then they said I can assist him. And then I said, okay, I will assist him. I didn't say no. And then later on, the problem was continuing. They one day called me, and then they told me that, oh, the coach was saying that he cannot work with me. And then, so I was very disappointed.
I'll go back to Dr. KK Sapon. I was privileged to interview KK Sapon in one of his first interviews when he took over Asante Kotoko on Kesman FM. And when I asked him about how difficult the job of Kotoko was, what he told me was that he's handled a number of businesses, but he didn't think there was any business that was more complex and difficult than handling Asante Kotoko. It's a very, very difficult job because the expectation is so high and you need truckloads of money to run it. And there's a reason no individual can handle Kotoko with finances from his own pocket. And that is why the structure has to be right. On Kesman FM. Job because the expectation is so high and you need truckload. Individual can. That is why the structure has to be right. On Kesman FM. Expectation is so high and you need truckload. That is why the structure has to be right. On Kesman FM.
I mean, there's only one person who can order me, and that is Otumfuo. And over the years, I consider myself the luckiest of all chairmen of Kotoko because I still have an extraordinary relationship with Otumfuo. We agree generally not to talk about football. You see, the friendship is far more important than the pressures of having.
So if Nana asked you to come back to Kotoko, are you going to accept it?
I would beg him not. If he was to go ahead and was, after all, I was announced as chairman of Kotoko without my consultation with myself. If Otumfuo or Seto to the second, of whom I'm even closer, was to do that, I would have no choice. But I pray that he does not.
So that's all for this week here on GPL Express. Do join us same time next week as we continue to explore more on our domestic football front. My name is Juliet, and thanks very much for watching. If you are watching us at home, thank you very much for your time here on JPL Express. Continue staying safe and smart. See you next week.